Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. 99.5 FM, The Jag. A wonderful morning. If you enjoy the humidity, a very special morning for you. Numerous things to get to. The president in France. I watched a video. The president tweeted video about 4 hours ago of him landing in France. So we have the president of the United States in France. He's also going to be on the 700 Club with Pat Robertson, Christian Broadcasting Network. Now, do you watch it all the time? When was the last time you watched it? Or have you ever watched it? It's been a while since I've checked in with Pat Robertson in the 700 Club. I was trying to think of when would his peak have been. Maybe around the time he ran for president. Youngsters may not remember when Pat Robertson ran for president, but he did. He obviously did not make it as president and settled in on the 700 Club, and he's still there on the 700 Club. Donald Trump went in and did an interview with Pat Robertson that will air on the 700 Club. He talked about all the issues that we've been discussing. One of the things the president talked about with Pat Robertson was the idea that the Russians would want Donald Trump as president and not Hillary. President Trump made the case that the Russians would not want Donald Trump as president, that they would prefer Hillary.
If Hillary had won, our military would be decimated. Our energy would be much more expensive. That's what Putin doesn't like about me. And that's why I say, why would he want me? Because from day one, I wanted a strong military. He doesn't want to see that. And from day one, I want fracking and everything else to get energy prices low and to create tremendous energy. We're going to be self-supporting. We just about are now. We're going to be exporting energy. He doesn't want that.
He also talked about that. He also talked about health care, saying that this health care legislation that is going to be unveiled today, it needs to pass.
It has to get passed. They have to do it. They have to get together and get it done.
What will happen if they don't?
Well, I don't even want to talk about it because I think it would be very bad. I will be very angry about it, and a lot of people will be very upset.
That's an understatement, that a lot of people, I think people are already, and it doesn't, I don't think it matters where you're coming from on the political spectrum. Just about the entire spectrum of American politics is upset with how health care has been handled one way or the other. So you'll be able to see the president on the 700 Club, Christian Broadcasting Network, with Pat Robertson, who is still alive and still on the air. All right, traffic and weather together, and then more Uncle Henry Show.
Time-saver traffic from the Dean McCrary Porsche Traffic Center.
Well, some of you are finding the drive-in this morning to be a rather wet one. We do have some scattered showers that are kind of pushing up from the Gulf. This is not a whole lot of rain, but you may find yourself caught in a cell of heavy downpours at any location. No big accidents or breakdowns, though. It's been very quiet on that front. Just a bit more volume now as you make the drive through the area this morning. With Time-saver traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by LifeLock. It's morning. Here's an eye-opener. LifeLock can see more threats to your identity than you can see if you're just monitoring your credit. And if something happens, a U.S.-based specialist can work to fix it. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code RISK to save 10%.
Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
Good Thursday morning. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn from Local 15 News. Showers and storms are a good bet. Today we'll go for a 50-50 shot, mainly during the afternoon. We'll go for a high of 90 as well. Mostly cloudy tonight, just a stray storm or two, and then it's back to a 40% chance of storms on Friday with a high around 90. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for this iHeart radio station.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
When Marlon Shirley was 5, he lost his foot. Today, as the world's fastest amputee, he runs the 100 meters in less time than it takes to listen to this. Overcoming. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life.
We love Nick Saban. Just wanted to get that out of the way. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Yesterday, a wonderful SEC Media Days appearance by Coach Saban, Nick Saban. I haven't paid attention to any other part of SEC Media Days, but I did pay attention to Coach Saban. Following politics agitates me and drives me insane these days, but it calms me down to hear the speaking of Nick Saban. I wonder, I don't want to brag, but I do own an Amazon Alexa. One of the first questions I asked Alexa was, who is Nick Saban? And Alexa knows who he is. And that verified to me that the Alexa product, this is not a commercial for an Alexa, by the way, but the fact that Alexa knows Nick Saban and can tell me who he is, that verifies to me that the Alexa at least does have basic knowledge of the world around us. I wish that there was a program that would make my Alexa sound like Saban. If I'm going to have electronic devices talk to me, I would like them to sound like Saban because he calms me down. He really does. In fact, sometimes any kind of navigation in the car where my smartphone is telling me to turn here and turn there, if that could be Saban, what a wonderful calming effect that would be in sometimes tense situations where you don't know where you're going and you're relying on the navigation in the car. I've got an email about the Nick Saban appearance. Subject line on the email is Roll Tide Unc. Email reads, good morning and thanks for the Coach Saban audio. Roll Tide Roll. He's wonderful, ain't he? Roll Tide Roll. And that email from 60-year-old Chris in West Loxley who adds P.S. Roll Tide Roll. 51 days. Roll Tide Roll. So I count in this email, including the subject line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Roll Tides. 5 Roll Tides in one email. Now, Chris, that is bringing the Roll Tides to the Uncle Henry Show. So thank you for that. You gave me 5 Roll Tides, which were just very much appreciated. Very much appreciated. So I'm going to share with you, I want to match your Roll Tides. You gave me, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me give you 5.
Roll Tide Roll. Roll Tide Roll. Roll Tide Roll. Roll Tide Roll. Roll Tide Roll.
That's 5, and then I want to go up with a 6th Roll Tide.
Roll Tide Roll.
All right, thank you for that. Yes, Nick Saban was out yesterday. We need to have many segments on this show devoted to the repetition of Roll Tides. Now, something that Coach Saban said that I enjoyed, somebody was talking about a quarterback controversy, and Nick Saban said this to the reporter.
We're not going to tolerate people making stuff up just to create interest, which I understand and respect. That's your job, but just not going to happen.
All right. So I could think that was like calling it fake news. You're making things up.
We're not going to tolerate people making stuff up just to create interest.
All right. He has analyzed the modern media in one quick clip.
The media and liberals like Nancy Pelosi attack Donald Trump. Career Congressman Mo Brooks sided with them. Listen to Mo Brooks attacking Trump.
I don't think you can trust Donald Trump with anything he says.
Here's Mo Brooks again.
A lot of people who have supported Donald Trump, they're going to regret having done so.
Career Congressman Mo Brooks even refused to endorse Donald Trump for president. What's worse, Mo Brooks now says he's very pleased to receive the endorsement of a New Jersey anti-Trump group that called Trump voters morons and suckers. Mo Brooks smeared Donald Trump, refused to endorse Trump. Now, Mo Brooks welcomes a vicious anti-Trump group to his U.S. Senate campaign. Career Congressman Mo Brooks, a history of anti-Trump. We can't afford his bad judgment in the Senate. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Smart Home America is a nonprofit set up to help you save money by learning just how to buy the right homeowner's insurance, how to fortify your house, how to be more energy efficient, and more. Learn at smarthomeamerica.org.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-348-2121. That's 1-800-348-2121. 1-800-348-2121. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price can vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
This is Uncle Henry. I want to tell you about Dr. Thomas Bender and Advanced Dermatology and Skincare Center. We love living on the Gulf Coast. We love all the fun activities, the fishing, the golf. But years of being out in the elements, well, that can accelerate damage to your skin. That can accelerate the aging process of your skin. Dr. Bender can help you with that. Dr. Bender is a board-certified dermatologist. He provides the latest innovations in medical skincare and cosmetic skincare, and he also has all the latest technology. He's got 3 convenient locations, Mobile, Daphne, and Bay Minette. You can find out more about Dr. Bender and all of the services he provides by going online. The website is advanceddermclinic.com. That's advanceddermclinic.com. You can make an appointment there online, or you can call for your appointment. The number is 251-631-3570. That's Advanced Dermatology and Skincare Center.
You may not think about the sounds you hear every day, but somebody has. The voice in your phone.
How can I help you?
The effects in your video games. The sounds in your favorite movies. There are people and stories behind every one of them. I'm Dallas Taylor, host of 20,000 Hertz, a podcast bringing you the stories behind the world's most recognizable and interesting sounds. Search for 20,000 Hertz now on iHeartRadio.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
Look for more road work with a flagging operation on the eastbound side of Old Shell Road between Florida Street and Hulbert Street. That project is expected to wrap up approximately the middle part of next week. No big accidents or breakdowns on the board now. I-10 coming across the Bayway through the Wallace Tunnel, Causeway, and the Bankhead all remain in good shape as well. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by Unbound.
There's a girl in El Salvador who dreams of becoming an engineer. There's an elder in Uganda who dreams of having a community to call his own. No two dreams are the same. Help one person achieve theirs at unbound.org.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Hello and happy Thursday. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for Local 15 News. Your forecast today calls for mostly cloudy skies, a 50% chance of showers and storms with a high around 90. We'll keep those skies mostly cloudy tonight and Friday. Your overnight low 74 and then a high of 91 on Friday with, you guessed it, more showers and storms. Again, I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for Local 15 News and this iHeart radio station.
This morning at 9, Ask the Expert, then Rush at 11. Right now, it's Uncle Henry on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Very excited to have another Alabama fan in the room with me.
Roll Tide.
After Nick Saban's media days, SEC media days. Roll Tide, roll! John McNeil back. It's been a month since John McNeil has been on the radio. You were on your way to Tuscaloosa the last time you were scheduled to be here, so I haven't seen you in a month.
Right.
How did you get a chance to see Nick Saban yesterday with his talk at SEC Media Days?
I did. You know, I've been a little under the weather, so watching daytime TV is really tough. So I was so glad to have some media days to look at and talking to some folks up in Tuscaloosa about what's going on, and very exciting.
It was just right before you got here this morning. I was replaying over and over again the thing Nick Saban said to the reporter asking about a quarterback controversy. I think Nick Saban summed up modern media by saying this:
We're not going to tolerate people making stuff up just to create interest, which I understand and respect. That's your job, but just not going to happen.
Sounds kind of like the Trump.
Well, people making things up to create interest.
Yeah.
And that seems to be what a lot of not just sports is, but now national news.
Yeah, exactly. You know, again, being laid up in bed watching TV and watching Russia it really gets frustrating.
No kidding. Well, it's hard to. Maybe there are some people out there that like following every single punctuation mark on all of it. It's hard for me to maintain interest when I see the word Russia and the word Trump near each other in a sentence.
It's awful. It's awful. There's so many things going on that we need to be talking about, and it's just ridiculous.
I have had that thought earlier this week when I saw the amount of time that cable news is spending on that one story or variations of that story. It made me wonder, what are all the other things going on in the world in which we live that we're not hearing about?
Yeah.
That is out there. With certainly there are things going on in every city, in every country that we ought to know about.
Exactly, but they're not worried about that. They're worried about the mainstream media is worried about this Russia collusion thing, and now with Jared Kushner's. With Don Jr. and Jared Kushner conspiring with the Russians to, gather this information from some insider of the Kremlin, who she's come out and said, I had nothing to do with it. I'm not an insider, all these things. And I didn't have any information. That was just a ruse to get me in to talk about adoption. And meeting only lasts 20 minutes. They even forgot about it until they started going through Jared Kushner's emails. Ridiculous.
Now, you mentioned that you've been under the weather and you've watched daytime television, which is frustrating to you. Now, we've established in your previous appearances on the show that you like watching Alabama football. You also like watching NCIS and probably some Fox News. Have you watched anything during your time of being a little under the weather? Have you looked in on things you've never watched before?
Oh,
have
yeah.
you broadened your horizons?
Oh yeah, these Alaskan bush people and Alaska, the last frontier, and below deck Mediterranean. There's all kind of good stuff on.
That's the type of stuff you went for.
Oh yeah,
people living in Alaska.
Well, also, of course, all the football games I record. So I've watched a little bit of football.
Okay.
The ones we won, not the ones we lost.
Okay, so you've rewatched some football games.
And we won all the ones I watched.
You didn't watch anything like The View?
No.
Or The Talk?
No.
Or Family Feud?
No.
Nothing like Days of Our Lives?
No.
Any of those things? You haven't watched any of those things?
No.
No broadening of the horizons?
I'm not watching The View if it's got Whoopi Goldberg on there.
Okay. All right, so sticking to what you like best.
Yeah, the Discovery Channel and National Geographic, and watch some Gunsmoke, some good things. Andy and Mayberry, MASH is on all day. I mean, it's great.
Okay, all right. Well, you're returning to old, familiar favorites.
Makes you feel better.
Things that you can doze during.
Exactly.
If you need to doze, you can leave a MASH and you can pick right up where you left off.
I know exactly what Major Houlihan's doing.
Exactly.
Turn it right back on. Yeah.
All right. Well, John McNeil is here.
Life is good. I'm glad to be back in the saddle.
Very good. So John McNeil is here. He is here with us through the 9 o'clock hour this morning here on News Radio 710 WNTM. 99.5 FM The Jag. I told people earlier this morning, John McNeil, that Kid Rock. Do you know who Kid Rock is? It's not The Rock.
No, not The Rock, but it's Kid Rock.
Kid Rock for Senate.com. He says he's got a major announcement coming up, and he's got his website, kidrockforsenate.com. He's been to the White House with Sarah Palin and Ted Nugent. So we may have Kid Rock running in Michigan against the Democrats in Michigan.
You know, I don't know much about his political beliefs, but I got a strong feeling he may have a good run at this. People are so disgusted with who we have in Washington, even here in the state of Alabama, because things aren't getting done.
Right.
And people won't change. They voted for change, last year, and they're not getting it. So,
if people could go and vote in one vote to have a clean sweep and get everyone out of office, and then get replaced by others, I think a lot of people would vote for a clean sweep.
I do too.
Even with politicians in there that they know and like, they would be willing to do that just to start over, all over again with new people.
A clean sweep. You're exactly right.
More to come. Uncle Henry Show continues. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Stock futures are a little change to higher as Federal Reserve Chair Janet Yellen heads back to Congress for a second straight day of testimony. The Dow hit a new record yesterday as Yellen signaled that the Fed would not rush to tighten monetary policy. The Dow was up 123 points to 21,532. The S&P 500 gained 18 points, or 0.75%, closing at 2443. The Nasdaq surged 1%, or 68 points, to 6261. Shares of Target are moving higher in pre-market trading. The retailer said that second quarter sales and earnings would be higher than it previously indicated because of improving customer numbers and revenue. The news should help boost investor optimism over a company whose shares have slumped in the last year on concern that Target would miss out as it struggles to compete with Walmart's low prices and Amazon's internet heft. Checking crude oil this morning, it's now little changed at $45.52 a barrel. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
Hey, this is Uncle Henry. I want to tell you about a dentist I found in Mobile named H. Radcliffe Brown Jr. When I moved back to town, I asked people if they could recommend a dentist, and they recommended Radcliffe Brown. I had a cracked tooth. I needed a crown on it. I went to see Dr. Brown at his office, 1501 University Boulevard, and he had just remodeled with state-of-the-art technology. So he was able to make the crown for me while I waited. It was a same-day crown, no temporary crown, and it fit perfectly. Dr. Brown has a family-friendly practice. He offers a wide range of services, including cleanings, whitening, cosmetic bonding, the same-day crowns I just told you about, veneers, bridges, dentures, partials. He restores implants. If you're a new patient, you can get a new patient appointment within just a few days. Remember the name. It's H. Radcliffe Brown Jr. Call him at 251-342-5636. While his website is under construction, you can look for him on Facebook. Look for H. Radcliffe Brown Jr. Dentist on Facebook.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Dean McCrary Mazda Traffic Center.
We really haven't had much in the way of big interstate problem spots this morning. The trip on I-10 crossing the Bayway through the Wallace Tunnel, Causeway, and the Bankhead. And I-65 all still moving along pretty well this morning, despite the added volume over the last several minutes. Road work in Fairhope includes the installation of the new traffic circle at Highway 13 in Gayfer. The work's expected to run through September. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
Hi there, I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for Local 15 News. Here we go again. Our weather's been like a broken record, and there's no change today. Showers during the morning along the coast will transition into thunderstorms across the area as we go into your afternoon. Then they'll die off by sunset. All of that said, expect a mostly cloudy sky and a high around 90. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for this iHeart radio station.
6 charged with robbery and kidnapping. Good morning. I'm Local 15's Darwin Singleton with this iHeartRadio News Update. Investigators say a robbery and kidnapping has put 6 people behind bars in Robertsdale. It happened on the 4th of July at a home on County Road 54. Police say an 18-year-old victim willingly visited a home where others robbed him of his wallet and a pistol. The victim says he was then assaulted, kidnapped, and dumped in Silver Hill. 2 20-year-olds, 3 19-year-olds, and 1 16-year-old, all in custody and now facing assault and kidnapping charges. Well, the case is closed on a string of burglaries across the bay. 2 Daphne teens behind bars accused of at least 2 vehicle break-ins and suspected of many others. Police say tips came in from folks that recognize the teens on surveillance video taken by their victims. The 2 now face unlawful breaking and entering charges. Their identities not yet released. Pole vaulting competition returns to Dolphin Street Saturday from 9 until midnight. At the 250 block of Dolphin Street, you can enjoy the block party atmosphere and watch the best pole vaulters in the region attempt to set new records. And if you prefer a fishing pole instead, well, the Roy Martin Young Anglers Tournament happens this Saturday, a warm-up for next weekend's Alabama Deep Sea Fishing Rodeo. But this one's for the young anglers, and it happens on Dolphin Island. News breaks while you sleep, so when you wake, we'll catch you up on what's happening along the Gulf Coast and around the world every weekday morning on Local 15 Today. We start at 5 a.m. I'm Local 15's Darwin Singleton for this iHeartRadio station.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. President Trump is overseas getting a welcome from the French president in Paris shortly.
Tomorrow is France marks Bastille Day, which really is its version, if you will, of the 4th of July. The president will be the guest of honor at the annual Bastille Day parade. This year marks the 100th anniversary of the entry of U.S. troops into World War I. There will be a contingent of American service members who are participating in that parade.
Fox's John Roberts in Paris. Here at home, the fight to repeal and replace Obamacare continues. Senate Republicans set to unveil their new bill today, one of the no votes. Senator Rand Paul, a conservative.
It keeps about half of the Obamacare taxes. It keeps most of the Obamacare regulations. It keeps most of the Obamacare subsidies.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is also trying to win support from moderate Republicans. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Celebrate your independence with a safe from Mike Ward's Liberty Safes. Come by the Mobile store for instant savings up to $1,000 off on select Liberty models in stock with 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Right now, also receive a free accessory up to $50 with every Liberty Safe purchase. It's service after the sale at Mike Ward's Liberty Safes with free delivery up to 50 miles. Why go anywhere else? Just look for the giant Liberty Safe at exit 5B, I-65 and Moffett in Mobile. Call 471-1137.
Okay, guys, are you ready for a revolution? Down below? I'm talking about Frigo underwear from RevolutionWear.com. It's all about comfort and looking great. Revolution Wear totally...
Just want to say hello to those of you watching on Facebook. We're still in the break. We're going to be in the break here for a few minutes. When we come out of the break, we're going to go into the Daily Reagan. We'll be hearing from Angelo this half hour. Also, Darwin of Local 15 will be checking in. We'll be talking with Darwin about the stories he's covering at Local 15. I noticed that there's a commercial. There was just a commercial on our radio station for ordering your underwear online and getting your underwear delivered.
No.
I love that. I'm in favor of it. I don't like buying my underwear publicly. I don't want people to see me in the checkout line with underwear. I don't want them to look at my underwear and know what I'm wearing, and I don't want them to. And what if they've heard me on the air and the first time they meet me is when I'm holding a bunch of underwear? That's just not. I don't like it. I don't think it's. We call them unmentionables because they shouldn't be mentioned. So I like that you can buy underwear on the internet and get it delivered to you so that nobody gets to see your underpants. Ever, unless it's for some type of medical professional needing to see them. So this week, we're about to go back on the radio here in about 30 seconds with the Daily Reagan. John McNeil, as you've been under the weather, did you watch all the other coaches from SEC Media Days?
No. Why?
Okay, good. Very good. Very good. I didn't watch them either. I may try and catch up this weekend and see if there was anything interesting from the other coaches. But yes, why? Why would we? All right, stand by. Daily Reagan in about 15 seconds.
Have never made so much sense.
Roll Tide. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
We've arrived at the Daily Reagan here on News Radio 710 WNTM 99.5 FM. The JAG, the Daily Reagan, a presentation of SAD Healthcare, SAAD is how you spell it, sadhealthcare.com.
I never meant to go into politics. It wasn't my intention when I was young. But I was raised to believe you had to pay your way for the blessings bestowed on you. I was happy with my career in the entertainment world, but I ultimately went into politics because I wanted to protect something precious. Ours was the first revolution in the history of mankind that truly reversed the course of government, and with three little words: we the people. We the people tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We the people are the driver. The government is the car, and we decide where it should go and by what route and how fast. Almost all the world's constitutions are documents in which governments tell the people what their privileges are. Our Constitution is a document in which we, the people, tell the government what it is allowed to do. We, the people, are free. This belief has been the underlying basis for everything I've tried to do these past 8 years.
The Daily Reagan, a presentation of SAD Healthcare, sadhealthcare.com. We have traffic and weather coming your way in just a moment. We have it every 10 minutes on the nines. Just listening to President Reagan there talking about government and what it should and should not do. It reminds me of the story. We're getting national attention, John McNeil, because the Alabama ABC board wants to enforce regulations that will not allow you to have a pitcher of margaritas, that only beer can be served in a pitcher in Alabama, that if you were to serve a pitcher of margaritas, that would be unlawful. And so that's the interpretation. And that is not, imagine telling the founding fathers that years down the line, the government would tell you that you can only have a certain size container of a beverage.
You know, Uncle Henry, they know best. Our federal government knows what's best for us, right?
Well, yes, absolutely. The federal government, obviously, we can't handle, it is somehow better to have 8 glasses in front of you than 1 container.
Right.
It's less dangerous if it's glass by glass rather than container. But that's what I think about when I hear Ronald Reagan talking about government, and then you come to modern day America, where in Alabama, the state doesn't want you to have a pitcher of margaritas. This was a big deal in New York City in the last couple of years, where they didn't want large.
You can't have more than 16 ounces in a Coke from 7-Eleven.
That
Why?
Too large of a Coke. It's 2 cans of Coke is okay, but if you put 2 cans in the same glass,
no,
that is very bad. Traffic and weather together, and then more Uncle Henry Show.
Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
Looks like we have picked up a little slow traffic on westbound